Thousands continue to queue on the last full day of the Queen's lying in state as world leaders fly in for her funeral tomorrow in London.
The European Commission calls for billions of euros to be withheld from Hungary over corruption concerns. Ukrainian officials uncover more mass graves in a pine forest near the newly liberated town of Izium. The president says there are signs of torture.
On a visit to Armenia, US Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi openly blames Azerbaijan and its ally Turkey for renewed conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh.
Sunday in central London saw the last few hours of one final goodbye, when thousands of people from near and far lined up for a chance to pay their respects to Queen Elizabeth.
She was always there for us, and this is what I need to do for her, you know, as a thank you for all of her service to us.
The Queen gave us an awful lot. She gave her life. She sacrificed her life for us. She was a special lady, so yeah, it's a pilgrimage that I feel I need to do.
Yeah, I think she worked very hard for the country and put a lot of effort into protecting the country. Yeah.
She led the country. You know, she was stable. Politicians come and go all the time.
And politicians from all over the world are coming to the British capital to join the state funeral on Monday. A procession is set to take the Queen from Westminster Abbey to Wellington Arch and then Windsor, her final resting place. The crowds, some of whom started to arrive on Thursday afternoon, came fully equipped for the wait.
She was coming without a tent.
Evelyn, who's only 8 years younger than Queen Elizabeth, said there was no way she would miss tomorrow's events.
She's my queen. She's been my queen for 70 years. Did it for her mum, did it for Di, I'll do it for her. Be the last one, won't it? For me.
When the Queen's coffin is taken through the streets of London, there will be some 2,000 guests in attendance, 500 foreign dignitaries, more than 4,000 service personnel, and potentially billions of people watching around the world. An event, a tribute, unlike any other, people here say is fitting of a queen, unlike any other. Annelies Borges is in London for Euronews.
This weekend in London, amidst the commemorations of the Queen's life, another commemoration was taking place for a life cut short. This is Chris Cover. He was shot by London police on the 5th of September in Streatham, in the south of the capital. Many are enraged with the 24-year-old shooting and marched across London to vent their anger, demanding answers.
He had no weapon, so why was he shot? Why was he killed? He's got a child on the way. His child is going to grow up with no dad. Why?
Cabba's car was flagged up by police license plate recognition cameras. They say it was involved in a firearms incident just a few days previously and was not registered under Cabba's name. The officer who fired the shot has been suspended, and the incident will be investigated by a police watchdog. Some have alleged Cabba was part of gang activity, while others have said this was yet another incident of racialized policing. Authorities have not said when the investigation into the death will be completed.
The European Commission called for an unprecedented 7.5 billion euros cut in European funding for Hungary because of persistent rule of law and corruption worries. This is the first time that Brussels is applying the so-called rule of law mechanism, a new tool allowing it to withhold funding when systemic risk of misuse and corruption are found in a member state.
The Commission's assessment is that a risk for the budget at this stage remains. Therefore, we cannot conclude that the EU budget is sufficiently protected. The Commission proposes a suspension of 65% of the commitments for 3 operational programmes under cohesion policy, amounting to an estimated amount of 7.5 billion euro.
This means Hungary could lose 20% of its European funds over the next 7 years. But Hungary can still reverse the punishment if they answer the Commission's concerns in the next 2 months. One German MEP told Euronews the announced measures are not enough.
Well, they should have frozen all the EU funds for now, because we know that all programs, all budget lines are targets of corruption of Orban, his friends and family. And then, of course, what we need is an ambitious plan to repair the rule of law, to repair the spending of money in Hungary so that there is no more corruption.
The government of Viktor Orban is facing a fierce debate over the misuse of EU funds and the backsliding of democracy over the past decade. But now, with the economy in a downturn, the government in Budapest is in a desperate need of EU finances.
The Hungarian government is willing to do everything to have these European funds released. For example, as of Monday, they will start to present new anti-corruption laws in the Hungarian parliament, and they are hoping to get a deal with Brussels later this year. Sándor Zsíros, Euronews, Brussels.
Slowly but steadily, the forensic team in the newly liberated town of Izium are identifying more and more bodies in mass graves. In this pine forest on the edge of the city, the stench of death fills the air. There are an estimated 430 graves here, but there could be more. Exhumation work continues today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says. Examinations of the bodies are being conducted. More than 10 torture chambers have already been found in various cities and towns liberated in Kharkiv region. The EU presidency held this semester by the Czech Republic has raised the possibility of establishing a special court to try alleged war crimes committed in Ukraine. Following the recapture of Izium, all eyes are now on Kupiansk. The town was captured without a fight just 3 days into the war. Various sources claim Kyiv has already taken back the city, but on the ground there is more caution. It's still too early to talk about the full liberation of Kupiansk, this volunteer says. That side was allegedly cleared, but our soldiers withdrew from there, because as far as I understand, to keep that side, we need heavy military equipment. As the Ukrainian advance continues, the Russians are striking back. Artillery attacks have reportedly killed 2 people in the Kharkiv and Donetsk region. Russian-appointed authorities say 4 have been killed in what they say was a Ukrainian strike in central Donetsk.
On an official trip to Armenia, a US congressional delegation headed by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has openly blamed Azerbaijan and its ally Turkey for the conflict in the disputed border territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. Fighting between Baku and Yerevan flared up again in the region last week, killing over 200. But for days now, a ceasefire seems to be holding.
Our meeting, again, had a particular importance to us because of the focus on security following the illegal and deadly attacks on us by the Azerbaijan on the Armenian territory. We strongly condemn those attacks, we in our delegation and on behalf of Congress, which threatens prospects for much-needed peace agreement.
And the Russian-backed Collective Security Treaty Organization, which Armenia is a member of, is on the ground.
The main task for today was to visit the territories where the clashes took place, areas of the terrain, settlements and positions of the units on the Armenian side that were subjected to fire damage. We try to be as objective as possible. We work with the facts. It's too early to talk about conclusions.
Both sides blame each other for the renewed violence. Azerbaijan says it was forced to reply to Armenian provocations. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has also said he's worried Russia might stir the pot between the two countries to distract from its actions in Ukraine.